Hello and welcome to Getter Farms. We're back with another episode of Royalton, Minnesota. And last time we were doing a little bit of our spraying. I did quite a bit of spraying off camera actually. And we managed to get most of it done before the night. But this last alfalfa field here, we were unable to spray before it got too dark to work. And interestingly enough, the sprayer doesn't work with a hired helper, so we're doing it all of ourselves here. No ability to hire a worker with this sprayer, at least the version I've got. There might be another version out, but we're gonna just wrap this up. It's one small field left, and there's a couple of updates here since last episode. So TJ Custom FS19 Edits has put the links to Royalton back on his Facebook page, and I believe that it includes a few minor fixes, as well as kind of a summary of some of the major issues that people have reported. And so I highly recommend, if you are already playing on Royalton or if you're looking to check it out, that you read the details that he posted with that release in detail. Both to save yourself and the modder a little bit of frustration there. This has been an awesome map, and I know a lot of people have been interested in it, so I strongly encourage you to check it out if this looks like something that you're interested in. But I'll also say this is a beta release of the map, and so there are a number of known issues, and there's just some things that aren't finished yet. But it's still been a really fun map so far, and there's just an amazing amount of detail on this map. And so even for some of the things that are maybe a little bit unpolished in places, this has just been a lot of fun. So I'm super thankful for TJ putting this back out, and also a shout out to OS Modding for having released it originally. So we're coming up on the bins here, and I'm trying to figure out if I can actually turn and gauge this without hitting the bins. Not so much. Oh well, we'll just have a little bit on the end there that's maybe not the best sprayed. We are just doing herbicide right now. We are on the last of the herbicide that we have in the tank here. We don't have any more on the farm, and we're running a little low on money, so I don't really want to buy anymore. As you can see, we've only got well, we got about 50% of our herbicide left, so that's probably good enough to get this field done. It doesn't go that fast, but we've only got $2,000 in cash right now. And if you look here, with the addition of the sprayer and some of the other odds and ends and materials we've had to buy, we are at negative $770,000. So that's going to make things continue to be a bit interesting here as we continue to incur loan penalties every day. And so I'm really curious to see at what point we start making some money from all these cows, because right now they're just costing us a lot of money, but we're not going to make any money on them until they start having some milk available here, which looks like about 0.6 years if we bring up the menu. Oh, and we have advanced a day in seasons, and so I hit the water when I walked by, but we're gonna have to go actually grab that 6R with the loader and go clean the stalls out here yet today and get them a little bit more feed. We'll probably try to figure out how to feed them the silage that I have in the bucket right now. But first, we need to finish spraying this field. Looks like we've got about a pass and a half left over there. So this should go really quick. And I also like that we've got the increased fuel usage mod on here, I think. And we're already at half a fuel tank just doing this little bit of spraying that we've done here. You know, honestly, we really don't have that many fields. So it's kind of cool to see a tractor actually using up half a tank of fuel doing a day's work. I think this sprayer technically has the sprayer section control mod enabled, but I don't think I have sprayer section control actually turned on because I haven't used it as much since I started doing precision farming, because all of the fertilizer spraying and all that stuff is getting done by other means now, and usually it's taken care of at the latest when I plant. And so I probably should get that set back up on this save, because it really kills me to be driving down this little narrow spot here and spraying both the left and right sides as well. So we'll have to look at that before next time we need to spray here. I thought that that was kind of one of my standard mods in my pack when I set up a new save, but obviously I have forgotten it. So we're wrapped up here with spraying. I'm just gonna finish up this little bit on the headlands since we had a few gallons left here. And I think we're gonna wash this thing up and put it back in a shed, and then we gotta jump over here and take care of our cows. Alright, so we've got this thing all hooked up and ready to go, but I think our grass is gonna be a few more days before it's ready for harvest. So we're gonna grab this 6R and get the front loader hooked back up on here and take it over to go clean up our cattle area here. We've got about a half a bucket here, a little bit less. I don't know how much that's going to actually do for these cows, but I figure by the time we scoop up what's left in here and try to figure out how to dump this out, we'll be in a good spot. And worst case, we've got a couple more bales of hay here, but I'm really hoping that we get this grass cutting going here. I really want to try out the silage mechanics that we've got in this new global company fermenting silo. Now let's check and see where the feed trigger is here in this area. And so it would appear to be anywhere in here. Let's go ahead and try. Yep, all that went in there. Fed some cows. So let's back this guy back out of here. And we'll bring up the menu and see that we didn't make it very far. In fact, it just went down a tick. And so we're going to need to toss a bale in here as well. They won't take a full bale, but as we saw before, we can leave a bale in there and over time it'll go down. And if I remember right, last time we kind of had an issue with the bucket clipping through the floor and getting stuck here. We're going to take our chances and we'll let it go a second time here. And we're just going to grab this bale. Actually, I'm wondering, can I do this in cab? There was a monitor that I saw as an add-on that would let me actually see my fork, like, levelness and all that, how high it is and stuff like that on a display. That would be cool, because I can't actually see when I'm in cab here. We need a fork cam or something. There we go. It looked like it was stuck to the back wall a little bit. So we're going to take this and just go dump that right into our cows. And I expect that they're now fed, even though we still see a bale. I think that that bale is probably just half a bale in reality. So we're going to go ahead and just park this right here alongside the shed for now and bring back up the menu. Yep, we are indeed fully fed. So at this point, we just need to wait for some grass to grow. Looking at our seasons menu here, technically we've got a ways to go before normal harvesting could begin. Our corn obviously is going to be nowhere near ready to harvest here. It's got a ways to grow, but I think we've done just about all we can here in late spring. And so we're going to jump ahead and see what happens in the next day or two here with seasons. All right, so we have advanced to early spring, and we just cleaned out the cow area again. And we're gonna go ahead and take this front loader back off because we had some massive amount of growth for a one season day. I wasn't thinking that we were going to be able to do a whole lot with just one day, but boy was I wrong. Let me park this here and we'll bring up the map. So if we look at the map here, you can see all of our grass area is now in the yellow, and I have no idea what all this is. Maybe there's a road or something there that I'm not familiar with, but either way, all of our grass turned yellow, which is the initial stage of ready to harvest. And our cornfield and all of these other fields are in the final stage of growth now. So if we look over there, we've got fully sprouted corn over there. Now, I'm kind of wondering if I could actually silage some of that if I wanted to as well now. That was part of the point of putting it in, is to make sure that we get a healthy amount of silage. But I think we're going to go ahead and cut this grass, even though it's on the shorter side. If we waited another day, we'd probably get a little bit more yield. But really, I need to get this silage going because we've got to keep these cows fed. And I've only got one more hay bale and not a whole lot of money to be buying more. And so the faster I can get some silage going and get it into this harvester or silo there and turning that into silage, the better off I'm going to be. So we're going to go ahead. I think we're going to open this door on the end here and see if I can get this mower out of here. I'm super excited to try this out, although I think I saw online that there's a new version of this mod or a similar mod coming out soon. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so I think what we're going to do is actually come up here along this tree line. And we're going to come right about in here. And we're going to use some GPS so that we can go straight. And if we turn this on, lickety split. Wow, this thing goes. I'm liking this already. So I'm going to turn course play on, or not course play, I'm going to turn GPS on here just so that we have some nice straight lines. It is leaving it in a nice windrow here, like I would expect. And man, this field's actually bigger than I thought it'd be. And so I'll be curious to see how much grass we're actually going to get out of doing this. Maybe we'll cut part of it here, and then we'll jump out and get the forage wagon going here and pick up some of this grass. I'm a little disappointed I'm not cutting down these weeds at all. There's a mod for that, I think, that I probably should install. I think the real mowing mod or something like that. I do not have that installed, however, so we're going to make do with what we have right now. Even though it is extremely unrealistic. We might hop out in just a second and switch to that. I want to get at least one round picked up here and make sure that I'm not going to run into any other struggles before we make any mod switches here. I'm really digging this little mower, though. It's working pretty good. In cab, it's not bad. It's got an okay interior. Yeah, I'm digging it. Alright, and it goes fast, which is just my style. So I think what I'm going to do is leave this guy here. He's probably a little bit in the way, but that's okay. And we're going to come over here and see what I can do to get this guy going. Now it looks like I got my pipe out, and if I turn it on like so, it automatically lowers, and I think I've already got it unfolded from the looks of it. We are picking up grass and putting it in here, so this is gonna work out pretty well. Putting myself into a tree a little bit here. I think what I'm gonna do is continue to put myself into a tree. I'm gonna follow this side over here. We're gonna hit that up first, and then I will come back down the other side and pick up the rest of the grass. Just because it'll make my life easier when I'm turning around on the end row to keep the pickup on the inside. And we're getting a fair amount of grass here. I'm thinking maybe we should probably windrow some of this, though, because this isn't exactly the widest swaths. And at this low of a yield, it's actually going to take a while to pick up the grass. Maybe if we had a little bit more yield, maybe if I waited a day or two and see if this grass goes up a harvest level. I think when the grass goes up a harvest level, the yield improves. Like when it goes from yellow to orange, I think you get more grass. I could be wrong about that. I have not done a ton of grass work before, and so that's actually part of why I'm doing this, is to get a little bit of experience with doing some different aspects of Farming Simulator here. See if I can turn tight enough. We're gonna miss just a little bit there. That's okay. Yeah, this mod's working out actually really good. See if I can get a little bit straighter here. The weeds are gonna drive me nuts though, so we are gonna switch that out. I just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna have any problems with this forage box or the grass pickup or any of that stuff, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like this is just gonna work, which is cool. So when we get back down to the end here, we're gonna figure out how to dump this forage wagon into the silo, and then we'll jump out and make some changes. Now I have to say, I wasn't expecting to get nearly this much grass in just one round there, especially on not fully developed fields. So we don't have any fertilizer there or anything. It's just, you know, kind of a painted grass field. If we really wanted that field to yield, we would need to plow it up and plant it and fertilize it and all that good stuff. So we're in a pretty good spot now. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to unload this trailer, or maybe I should say I shouldn't be able to unload this trailer because I don't have the PTO hooked up to anything. I should probably have to disconnect this forage pickup and then hook the trailer up separately if I was being realistic. We're going to let this one go for a moment though while I work on this. I think what I would do is bring the other small tractor out to the field and just disconnect the trailer and use that to haul this forage wagon up here and back. I don't know, that little tractor might be a bit small for the forage wagon fully loaded. I also don't know if this is unloading so slowly because I don't have it hooked up properly, which is what, you know, I know manual attach has a tendency to penalize you if you don't hook things up with hoses and whatnot, or if this is just how slow these actually unload. Either way, if we hop out here for a second, you can see that there is a display here that's keeping track of how much grass or chaff is going into the silo. And so we've got a little over 11,000 liters in there already. And then when I come over here, you can see I've got 0 silage, but there's a display. I just saw it right there. And so you can see in the input, I've got bulk materials, and on the output, I've got 0. So I think we just got to wait for some time to pass now, and we'll see a little bit go over. If we bring up the fermenting silo menu in Global Company, you can also see it holds chaff and grass, and it's going to output to silage. And so we're going to be able to hold 1.5 million liters of bulk materials in here. I don't know if that's accurate, but the productivity is 3,000 liters per hour. So that little bit of grass that we just put in there is going to take 4 hours to move over of game time, which is fine. You know, these things take a lot of time to do that in real life, so I find that perfectly believable. And I'm not in a hurry. That means we will have silage, though, in the next day or so to be able to feed some cows. I'm going to try and sneak around this tree here. And so what we need to do next is I think we're going to just park this right here. We can use this in a little bit. We're going to step out and see if I can find that grass mod so that these weeds are going to go away while we're cutting. All right, we're back with the real mower mod installed. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if we can actually get this working. We are still going to need GPS, and since I dropped out of the game, I'm going to set that back up here right quick. And let's bring this up. I think I need to switch a real mower mod on. And it looks like that's not working. Let's see, F1, turn on real mower mod. And still not working. Interesting. I'm not sure why that would be. But unfortunately, there's only so much we can do. So I think we'll just have to live with these weeds, as much as that's going to drive me nuts. And I think we're going to just mow this field up real quick. So this field doesn't have any boundaries or definition because it hasn't been plowed up yet. And so there's no ability to put a worker on here or really do course play unless I were to record my own field boundaries, which I'm not terribly interested in doing right now. So we're going to do this one the old-fashioned way here and get a little bit of grass into this silage silo. But I don't know that we're going to do the whole thing, partly because it isn't yielding that well, and partly because these weeds are going to drive me nuts. Going through it with a mower and then seeing them all still be there, it's a little bit much for my brain to handle from a realism perspective, and so we might just finish up a couple rounds here, just enough to get some grass turning into silage, and then we're gonna go and set up this other mod that I forgot about so that we can have our cultivator plow up this grass and turn this field into a real field, so that we can do lots of things, including fertilize this, put some lime on it, and really get some good yields out of this. We'll probably put alfalfa down on it as well, since that's probably a little bit better for feeding our cows, and it's built into the map, so it's something to keep playing with. But I think if we were to just do 2 rounds here of grass, that's going to give us, you know, I think we had, what, 11,000 liters on that first pass, so that is going to give us another 22,000 liters, maybe a little bit more. And if I look at this, we need about 60,000 for feed per year, and we've got corn silage to do still, and we've got a field of alfalfa that's actually going to grow here at some point. And so between this little bit of silage and all of those things, I think we're actually going to be good for feed for the year. And maybe we'll get a cut of alfalfa off of this if I get this field planted here shortly, versus if I keep going on this grass all day and then we spend another day picking it all up and such. We might not have enough time to get a cut of alfalfa off of this. I'd rather get this tilled up and seeded with some more alfalfa, I think. So that's going to be our plan, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're down here on the end. I'm going to go ahead and just put this mower in the shed again, since we're right here. I'm going to try and do it without hitting this other tractor. I want to get it along this wall and just slide it into the back, I think. We'll put it right here. Alright, so I have had to exit and uninstall the Real Mower mod. I'm not sure why, but having Real Mower installed was preventing me from picking up my grass. So who knows what's going on with that? I'm sure it's a conflict of some kind. I have used that mod in the past, I think, and I was getting it off the mod hub, so no idea what was going on there. But we're back to picking up this grass now. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can pick up all this grass into one trailer. I think last time we hit around 38%, 30-something percent. But we were one pass on these shorter rows. I've got these longer rows now that go all the way down to the other field there near the house. So we're definitely going to be getting a little bit more grass, and we're getting twice as many rows. So I think it's going to get a little bit closer to full, but I think we're going to have room. So we're going to be hopeful and see what happens here. At some point, if this farm expands, it would be really nice to get a forage harvester to do corn silage, but then also get a pickup head on it to be able to do grass pickup in a field like this. I would have to figure out how to get a mod like Follow Me working again or something to run a forage box alongside the forage harvester though, because otherwise I'm not really sure how I'd do that. I don't think it'd make a lot of sense to hook a trailer onto my forage harvester. I think that would just be a little bit awkward, so we'll think about that. We've got a ways to go. At our current scale though, this is working good enough for me to be able to run this forage box here right on the back of this pickup, and really we don't need that much, at least at our scale. As we get bigger, it'll be nice to have this big field though, and so once we get this turned into a field and plant alfalfa back here, I think this is going to be more than enough alfalfa to keep our cows going even after our farm expands a bit. So we may reclaim that field up in the front by the bins to plant some crops in. We'll see how profitable this year turns out to be from a crops perspective. Maybe we'll just double down on the cows. Who knows? I am really liking this tractor though, this 6R. It's a nice machine. It's just big enough to do pretty much anything we want, but small enough to still feel like a smaller tractor. And we're on to the last round here, so we're at 53%, 54% now. So it's looking likely we might actually fill up on the way back down. It'll work out though, at least we'll be down on this end for the bit that we need to clean up. So we're gonna keep going here, and I'll check back in with you when we get full here in a few minutes. All right, so we are full up here on the Meyer box, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and drop this trailer here. We're gonna try and do it the quote-unquote right way here. We gotta get this up a little bit out of the way. And I don't know if this tractor should be able to pull this thing or not. We're gonna find out though. We're gonna get the little, what is this, a 6010, 6410? Oh, it's a 6410. It's got a couple more horse, right? We're gonna get this up here on this Meyer box and pull it in. I'm thinking for this short of a distance, it'd be fine. It's not that big of a forage box, so I'm not too worried about it. If I was pulling this a long way on a road or something, I might be a little bit more worried about it, just because it's a lot of weight. So I'm not so much worried about whether or not this tractor can pull it from a horsepower perspective. And I know Farming Simulator mechanic-wise, it's going to do fine. But if I was hauling this on a road, I'd be worried about the weight of this wagon pushing me around. But we're going to haul this in here. And hopefully... Oh, did I move my tip? Tip side is front unload. All right, let's try that again. I think I might have either been too far away or had the wrong tip side. Oh, I'm probably actually too close, believe it or not. Here, let's take one more pass. Yeah, there it was. I think that the dump zone is actually probably just a little bit ahead of that. So if I come in like so, maybe not. F5, where'd you go? There we go. It helps if you put the right tip zone out, and we were just a little bit too close. The actual tip zone's a little bit further away. It doesn't look like this is gonna dump any faster with the PTO hooked up, so that's okay. We are getting a fair amount of grass going into here, so that's good. And while this is unloading, I'm gonna bump the time up ever so slightly. I want to get to 9 a.m. in the morning here and check to see this silage actually processes into the other part and how that works. So it should do it right on the hour with Global Company. So we're going to come over here and see that we do indeed have 2,500 liters of silage in the bin ready to be dumped out that chute. If we come over here, I can see the same. So that's pretty cool. We've got silage. So I'm no longer worried about being able to feed our cows at all. We just need to figure out how we're going to make the TMR. So as soon as this is done emptying, I feel like I need to go take another look at that mix wagon. Alright, so let's pull this right back over here, and I'm just going to drop it off over behind this pickup, and we'll get that all hooked back up here in just a second. There we go. So we might as well just finish this off while we're here. Get the last of this grass picked up. There's really not that much left. Get it into this silage silo and have that crank it over. And then we're going to go check on that feed mix, because now that we've got silage and the DDG, we need to figure out what the third ingredient was. I suspect it's just gonna be hay or something. Maybe it's corn. I don't know. Either way, well, we're going to pick up all these straggly bits that we missed because we're just a bad driver. All right, we're all picked up here. I'm going to go ahead and just set this over here by the silo. We'll get it all emptied out here in a minute. And what we really want to do is take this 6410 over here to the shed and hook that feed wagon back up and figure out what else we need for feed now that we've got two of the components here, because I'd really like to get our cows eating TMR so that we can be maximizing their productivity here. Although part of me wonders if we should really be waiting for the TMR until we get to actually producing milk. So we'll see, but since we do have this thing all hooked up, I want to drive this over here and see what putting silage into this is going to do and see how easy this is going to be. I think it should be as easy as putting it in there. Realize I didn't hook my hoses up, so we were going a little slow. I don't think we've got enough silage here yet to get to the proper mixture, but I think we should have enough in there to see the bar move and understand that this is going to actually work. Let's watch the screen while it goes. Okay, so I could probably put a little bit more silage in there when the time comes. Right now, it's got the DDG, it's got enough silage that if I were to fill the rest of this, it looks like that's alfalfa. So when we get some alfalfa off of this other field, we'll be all set to start making some TMR. And if I bring up the menu here, I'm just curious, that's probably alfalfa hay. I'm guessing it's this lighter alfalfa green color. Yes, indeed. So we will need to dry that alfalfa out after we cut it. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. We've got 40,000 liters of silage in the making. So that's going to be good enough for us to get at least another round of feed out of that. So I'm not too worried about having enough feed to get through the year, even once we start having some more cows. And I think we've proved out that at least our equipment's working. I suspect that the silage is going to work as well. We'll probably silage about half of this corn and then put the other half into the grain dryer to sell, since I don't know that we're going to need that much silage, but we'll see how silaging goes. I haven't silaged corn with a pull behind silager yet, so I suspect that field is actually going to yield a lot better than our grass is doing over here. And so that's just more things to think about. But we're going to save that for next episode. that's all for today. Keterk,